7 Laws of Karma You Should Never Ignore. Have you ever wondered why some people lie, cheat, manipulate others, and seem to escape the consequences? Why do selfish people sometimes prosper while honest people struggle? Why do cruel people appear happy while kind people suffer? The Stoics wrestled with these questions centuries ago, and their answer was both simple and profound. Nothing escapes the laws of character. Nothing escapes the consequences of repeated actions. A person's habits become their destiny. A person's choices shape their future. A person's character eventually creates either peace or suffering. This is what many people call karma, not necessarily a mysterious force descending from the sky, but a natural law of life. The law that every action plants a seed, and every seed eventually produces fruit. Some fruits are sweet, others are bitter, but eventually the harvest comes. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that evil harms the person who practices it, that dishonesty damages the liar, that bitterness poisons the bitter person, and that virtue rewards the one who lives by it. Perhaps not immediately, but inevitably. Today we will discuss 7 laws of karma you should never ignore. 7 timeless principles that quietly shape every human life. Ignore them, and suffering grows. Respect them, and peace becomes possible. Subscribe to Stoic Reflections for more videos on Stoicism, wisdom, self-mastery, and emotional intelligence. Because the life you live tomorrow is being created by the choices you make today. Law number 1. What you give to others eventually returns to you. Life has a strange way of returning energy. The respect you give, the kindness you show, the dishonesty you practice, the cruelty you spread, all of it leaves traces. There was a wealthy merchant named Victor. People admired his success, his houses, his businesses, his influence, but few people knew how he achieved it. Victor deceived customers, manipulated partners, broke promises, and took advantage of anyone weaker than himself. For years, everything appeared fine. He became richer, more powerful, more respected on the surface. Then slowly things began changing. People stopped trusting him. Business relationships collapsed. Friends disappeared. His children adopted his dishonest habits and eventually betrayed him as well. Victor lost more than money. He lost peace. He lost trust. And most painfully, he lost the respect of those closest to him. The Stoics understood this principle perfectly. When you repeatedly act dishonorably, you do not merely harm others. You shape yourself. Each dishonest act strengthens dishonesty within your character. Each cruel act strengthens cruelty within your character. And eventually your character determines your experience of life. Imagine carrying poison in a container. At first you intend to pour it on others, but slowly the poison damages the container itself. The same happens with bitterness, hatred, dishonesty, resentment. These emotions rarely remain directed outward. Eventually they consume the person carrying them. On the other hand, kindness transforms the giver. Integrity strengthens the soul. Generosity develops inner peace. The Stoics believed virtue is its own reward, not because good people never suffer, but because good character creates inner freedom, and inner freedom is priceless. The energy you repeatedly give to the world slowly becomes the atmosphere of your own life. Law number 2. Your habits quietly create your destiny. Many people wait for life to change dramatically. A breakthrough, a miracle, a lucky opportunity. The Stoics focused on something smaller, daily habits, because destiny is rarely created overnight. It is created repeatedly. There was a young man named Daniel. Every evening, he promised himself he would change tomorrow. Tomorrow he would become disciplined. Tomorrow he would exercise. Tomorrow he would read. Tomorrow he would stop procrastinating. Tomorrow he would become the person he admired. But tomorrow never arrived. Years passed. His dreams remained dreams. Not because he lacked talent, because his habits contradicted his ambitions. Meanwhile, his friend Michael lived differently. He improved slowly. Read a few pages every day. Exercise consistently. Saved money patiently. Learned continuously. The progress seemed insignificant. Day after day, month after month, year after year. But eventually something extraordinary happened. Michael's life transformed completely. Not through luck, through habits. The Stoics believed your actions create your character, and your character creates your future. People often want extraordinary results from ordinary effort. But life rarely works that way. A farmer does not plant seeds today and expect fruit tomorrow. Growth requires patience, consistency, discipline. The same is true for human beings. If you plant discipline repeatedly, you harvest strength. If you plant laziness repeatedly, you harvest regret. If you plant wisdom repeatedly, you harvest peace. Every day you are planting something. The question is, what kind of future are your habits creating? Your future is hidden inside the routines you repeat today. Law number 3. The pain you cause others eventually returns as inner suffering. Many people believe karma is simply punishment. The Stoics saw it differently. They believed that every harmful act leaves a mark on the person who commits it. Not always immediately, not always visibly, but inevitably. There was a man named Adrian who took pride in manipulating people. He lied effortlessly, betrayed friends when it benefited him, used people's kindness for personal gain. And whenever someone suffered because of his actions, he simply moved on. At first, life seemed to reward him. His career advanced. His income increased. People admired his confidence. But something hidden was happening. He stopped trusting others. Every friendship felt suspicious. Every act of kindness felt like a trap. Every relationship felt temporary. Why? Because people often assume others think the way they think. Since Adrian deceived people, he expected deception. Since he betrayed people, he expected betrayal. Gradually, he became isolated. Not because karma struck him dramatically, because his own character became his prison. The Stoics warned about this. They believed that injustice harms the one who commits it. Cruelty damages the cruel. Dishonesty damages the dishonest. Hatred damages the hateful. Imagine living in a house filled with smoke. You may become accustomed to it. You may stop noticing it. But the smoke still damages your health. Negative character traits work the same way. The damage begins internally, before it becomes visible externally. This is why many people who appear successful are privately miserable. Their external lives look impressive, but internally they experience anxiety, fear, distrust, restlessness, because peace cannot coexist with a corrupted character. The Stoics believe peace is not purchased. It is earned through virtue, through honesty, through compassion, through integrity. A person may deceive others for years, but escaping yourself is impossible. The greatest punishment for harmful behavior is often becoming the type of person capable of it. Law number 4. What you tolerate becomes your destiny. Most people think karma only concerns what they do. The Stoics understood another truth. What you tolerate also shapes your future. If you tolerate disrespect repeatedly, disrespect becomes normal. If you tolerate laziness repeatedly, laziness becomes a lifestyle. If you tolerate toxic people repeatedly, toxicity becomes your environment. There was a woman named Sophia. She was intelligent, kind, hardworking, yet her life felt chaotic. Why? Because she tolerated things she should have changed. She tolerated unhealthy friendships. She tolerated dishonesty. She tolerated negativity. She tolerated people who drained her energy. Year after year, she hoped things would improve. But nothing changed, until she realized something painful. The life she was experiencing was not only shaped by her actions, it was shaped by what she allowed. That realization transformed her. She began establishing boundaries. She stopped accepting disrespect. She limited negative influences. She became more intentional about her environment. At first, people criticized her. Some called her cold. Others called her selfish. But Sophia understood something important. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is necessary. The Stoics believed you become like the things you repeatedly surround yourself with. Spend time with dishonest people long enough. Dishonesty begins feeling normal. Spend time with negative people long enough. Negativity begins influencing your thoughts. Spend time with disciplined people long enough. Discipline begins influencing your behavior. This is why wise people carefully guard their environment. Not because they believe they are superior, because they understand influence. Imagine placing clean water into a polluted container. Eventually the water becomes polluted too. The reverse is also true. Place yourself in an environment of growth, and growth becomes easier. Place yourself in an environment of wisdom, and wisdom becomes more natural. The Stoics constantly examined their surroundings, their friendships, their habits, their conversations, their influences, because they understood a profound truth. Your environment quietly shapes your future, and your willingness to tolerate unhealthy things determines how long they remain part of your life. Sometimes karma is not what happens to you. Sometimes karma is what you continue allowing. Law number 5. Envy destroys the person who carries it. There is a quiet poison many people carry without realizing it. Envy. The Stoics warned repeatedly against comparing yourself with others, because comparison often becomes resentment, and resentment eventually becomes suffering. There were two brothers, Ethan and Lucas. Ethan celebrated other people's success. When friends succeeded, he felt inspired. When others advanced, he learned from them. Their achievements motivated him. Lucas was different. Whenever someone succeeded, he became bitter. Whenever someone prospered, he became jealous. Whenever someone was praised, he felt threatened. Years passed. Ethan developed peace. Lucas developed resentment. Ironically, the people Lucas envied continued living their lives. The person most harmed by envy was Lucas himself. The Stoics understood this perfectly. Envy steals joy. It steals gratitude. It steals contentment. And worst of all, it shifts your attention away from your own growth. Imagine running a race while constantly staring at the runners beside you. You eventually lose focus on your own path. That is what envy does. It distracts, consumes, weakens. Karma teaches an important lesson here. Celebrate what is good in others, because admiration inspires growth. Envy creates suffering. The success of others does not reduce your potential, but envy can. Law number 6. The good you do is never truly lost. Many people stop being kind because they feel unappreciated. They help others and receive no thanks. They remain honest while others lie. They stay loyal while others betray. And eventually they begin asking, what is the point of being a good person? The Stoics faced this question too, and their answer was powerful. The point of virtue is not applause. The point of virtue is becoming someone worthy of peace. There was an elderly teacher named Theodore. For more than 40 years, he taught children in a small town. He was patient, compassionate, wise, yet he was never wealthy, never famous, never celebrated publicly. Many people considered his life ordinary. Then one day, after his retirement, something extraordinary happened. Former students began visiting him. Doctors, engineers, business owners, teachers, parents. They all said the same thing. You changed my life. Theodore realized something beautiful. The good he had done had never disappeared. It had multiplied, quietly, over decades, through people he had helped. The Stoics believed virtue always leaves a mark. Not always immediately, not always visibly, but permanently. A kind word may stay in someone's memory for years. An act of generosity may change a person's future. A moment of compassion may prevent despair. You may never know the full impact of your goodness. And that is perfectly fine, because the Stoics did not encourage goodness for recognition. They encouraged goodness because it shapes character. Imagine planting a tree. You may never sit beneath its shade, but future generations might. Would that make planting the tree meaningless? Of course not. The same applies to kindness. honesty, compassion, wisdom. These qualities create ripples that extend beyond what we can see. Karma teaches that nothing genuinely good is wasted. Even when unnoticed, even when forgotten by others, it still shapes the world. And it shapes you. The good you do today may become someone else's blessing tomorrow. Law number 7. You cannot escape your own character. This is perhaps the most important law of all. You can deceive others. You can hide mistakes. You can create appearances. You can fool the world for a while. But eventually, you must live with yourself. The Stoics understood this truth deeply. Your greatest companion is your own mind, and your greatest judge is your own conscience. There was a wealthy man named Alexander. Everyone admired him. His success seemed endless. His reputation seemed perfect. But privately, he was miserable. Why? Because his success had been built through dishonesty. He feared exposure, distrusted people, lived anxiously, and constantly worried about losing everything. Every achievement felt fragile. Every relationship felt uncertain. Outwardly, he appeared powerful. Internally, he felt imprisoned. The Stoics would say Alexander was suffering from something money could never solve: a divided character. There is a peace that only integrity provides. When your actions align with your values, you sleep peacefully, you speak honestly, you live authentically, and authenticity creates freedom. The opposite is also true. When your actions contradict your values, conflict begins inside you, even if nobody else notices. Because conscience is difficult to silence permanently, many people spend years trying to escape consequences externally. The Stoics focused on something more important: avoiding consequences internally. Because inner peace is one of life's greatest treasures, and inner peace depends heavily on character. Imagine building a palace on unstable ground. The structure may appear magnificent, but cracks eventually appear. The same is true of human beings. Without integrity, without honesty, without virtue, external success becomes unstable. Karma reminds us that character is destiny, not reputation, not status, not wealth. Character. Because your character determines how you experience life, and you carry it everywhere you go. You can change your location. You can change your job. You can change your circumstances. But until you change your character, you cannot truly change your life. Now let's remember these 7 laws of karma you should never ignore. What you give to others eventually returns to you. Your habits quietly create your destiny. The pain you cause others eventually returns as inner suffering. What you tolerate becomes your destiny. Envy destroys the person who carries it. The good you do is never truly lost, and you cannot escape your own character. Notice something remarkable. These laws do not require belief to operate. They work quietly, consistently, patiently, day after day, year after year. The Stoics understood that life is not only shaped by major events. It is shaped by repeated choices. Small choices, daily choices, invisible choices. The decision to be honest. The decision to forgive. The decision to remain disciplined. The decision to reject envy. The decision to develop character. These decisions accumulate, and eventually they become your life. Many people search endlessly for external success, money, recognition, influence. But the Stoics pursued something deeper: inner peace. Because a peaceful mind remains valuable in every circumstance. A peaceful mind survives hardship, survives criticism, survives failure, survives uncertainty. And inner peace is not obtained accidentally. It grows from virtue, from wisdom, from integrity. That is the deeper meaning of karma. Not revenge, not punishment, but consequence. The natural consequence of how you think, how you act, how you live. Every day you are shaping your future self. Every thought strengthens a habit. Every habit strengthens character. Every act strengthens destiny. So choose carefully. Choose honesty. Choose discipline. Choose gratitude. Choose kindness. Choose wisdom. Because eventually, You become what you repeatedly practice. And there is no greater karma than becoming the person your choices have created. Subscribe to Stoic Reflections for more videos on Stoicism, self-mastery, emotional intelligence, wisdom, mental strength, and personal growth. And remember, life does not merely ask what you possess. Life asks who you have become. Because in the end, your character is your destiny.